Good morning, St. Luke's kids. It's Miss Sharon. It's good to be here. It is great to be here. Yes, and it's especially great because it's a very special Sunday. Today we get to welcome our two new pastors, Reverend Michelle and Pastor Liza, and they can't wait to meet you guys. So, happy July. For the month of July, Miss Sam and I are going to share with you 4 of the Vacation Bible School Bible stories. And we're going to start today with one that has 3 guys in it that have super strong faith in God. Their names are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Can you say that with me? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Good job. So, we're going to watch a video first, and you're going to learn about their story. And when we come back, I'll need your help in telling the story again. See you in a minute.
So this is where we are in the story.
God made a perfect world, but people messed it up. They chose not to love and obey God.
But some people still make good choices, like 3 guys who had really strange names.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
They were Daniel's friends.
Remember? He's the guy that spent the night in the lion's den.
They were really important because they worked for the king. His name was Nebuchadnezzar.
Try to say that 3 times fast.
Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar.
They decided to make a huge statue out of gold.
It would be really tall so everyone could see it.
And every time that people heard trumpets,
everyone had to stop what they were doing and pray to the giant statue. If they didn't,
they would get thrown in a fiery furnace.
It was like a huge fireplace.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew God.
It knew they shouldn't pray to anyone else.
No one else.
He said so himself. So when everyone else bowed to the statue to pray,
they did not.
And people noticed.
It was a big deal.
The king was furious.
But he decided to give them a second chance. They told the king,
"We haven't changed our minds.
If you throw us in the fire, God can save us.
And if he doesn't, we still won't pray to your statue."
The king was furious.
He had them in handcuffs.
He told his guards to turn the heat up in the furnace
and threw them inside.
Things were not looking good for them.
But after a few minutes,
the king looked inside the furnace,
and guess what he saw?
4 guys
just walking around.
Not hurt at all.
And who was that 4th guy?
The king went to the furnace and yelled,
"Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out here!"
And they walked out of the fire.
They weren't burned at all. They didn't even smell like smoke.
The king was shocked.
He changed his mind right then and there.
And he said no one could say anything bad about God.
Because God was so good.
Then he said,
"No God has ever pulled off a rescue like this."
And you know what?
Later, God would pull off another great rescue.
But that's another part of the story.
And we are back. Pretty cool story. So, guess where that story comes from? It comes from the Old Testament, the book of Daniel, and it comes from chapter 3. So, we're going to tell it again, but this time I need your help. So, whenever I point to you, I want you to say their 3 names, along with a motion that goes with each name. For Shadrach, put your hands on your heart. For Meshach, put your hand on your head. And for Abednego, put your hands together in prayer hands. Because these guys all had big hearts. They were all very smart, and they all had great faith in God. Okay, so when I point to you, you say Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Let's try it again. Point to you, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Got it? Okay, let's give it a try. Now, I have to hold the story, so my prayer hand is going to be one-handed, so it's going to look weird. So just do your own, right? Okay, here we go. Once there was a king named Nebuchadnezzar who ruled in Babylon so long ago. And in that land there were 3 faithful people, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. The king made a towering gold statue and ordered everyone to bow down low. But 3 men wouldn't bow down to worship idols. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. When the king found out about their actions, he ordered them again, but they said, "No!" And so he made it known they must be punished. He had them thrown into a fiery furnace and turned the flames as high as they would go. How dare they disobey what he had ordered? Though the flames were fierce inside that furnace, the men were filled with faith instead of woe. A messenger from God was right there with them. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. The king was so amazed he freed them promptly. Their trust in God had made his own heart grow. He ordered everyone to respect the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 3 men knew the truth of God's great power. 3 men had their faith and let it show. Even now, they are a great example. Let's say their names together. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Good job, guys. So now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Sam, and she's going to tell us a little more about this story. Take it away, Sam.
Hi, St. Luke's kids. It's Miss Sam. I want to thank you for joining us for our very first VBS story. And thank you, Sharon, for sharing the story with us. Now, I'm going to share a few statements from our story, and I thought we'd play a game. It's called True or False. So I'm going to share some statements, and I want you to either give me a thumbs up if you think the statement is true, or a thumbs down if you think it's false. Here we go. So, the very first thing, King Nebuchadnezzar had a large gold statue made. That is in fact true. Thumbs up. He did have a large gold statue made. Now, he gave a command. Whenever anyone heard special music, they were supposed to dance the cha-cha. You're right. That was false. In fact, his command was that whoever passed by the statue had to bow down to it. Now, there were 3 men who refused to bow down to the statue. This, in fact, is true. These brave 3 men did refuse to bow down to that statue. Now, this made the king mad. And so the king ordered them to be thrown into a tub of cold spaghetti. That is false. Thumbs down. In fact, there's no cold spaghetti even mentioned in our story. Instead, he threw them into a fiery furnace. He did. That, in fact, is true. And as horrible as that sounds, he did throw them into a furnace. But they didn't burn up, because God sent a messenger to be there with them. Right. That is, in fact, true. God did send an angel to be with them. Now, our story is all about negative peer pressure. And these 3 brave men refused to give in to that. And I know that it's something we all experience. In our Bible stories, don't tell us that bad things won't happen or that we won't be faced with challenges. But instead, the stories in our Bible, especially this one, reassure us that no matter what we go through in life, God is always with us. And I hope you'll be reassured by that message as well. Thanks for joining us. This week we want to welcome some new pastors at St. Luke's, Reverend Michelle and Pastor Liza. We're excited to have them, and I know they're excited to meet all of you. Until we see each other again soon, join me in our ending prayer. Dear God, help us to live and to love and to be like the 3 brave men in our story. Help us to wear the belt of your truth everywhere we go. Make us strong in you and show us strength in your presence. God, we ask that you walk with us every day, every minute, and every hour. Thanks for loving us, God. We love you. Amen. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.